A shaky, handheld shot in a dark hotel room. My face is pale, eyes wide with fear, staring at the door. There was a loud, distinct knock, knock, knock sound. That right there, that was the moment I knew I wasn't alone. But to really get what led to that sound, we need to start from the top. Places in the world that just feel heavy. You know? Places where so much has happened that the history feels tangible. The Driscoll Hotel in Austin, Texas is definitely one of them. It's been standing since 1886, a beautiful piece of Texas history. But under all that elegance, it has a much darker reputation. It's known as one of the most haunted spots in the entire country. For years, I've heard the stories about one room in particular, a room that has become legendary in the paranormal community, Room 525. The stories say it's haunted by the ghosts of two different brides who tragically lost their lives. And tonight, I'm going to stay there, by myself. I'm not going to lie, checking into a hotel with this much history is a thrill. But checking into a room with this much tragedy attached to it, that's a whole different feeling. That's terrifying. My goal is simple. Find out if the legends are true, document everything that happens, and hopefully make it through the night. Even get to the room. You have to understand the history here. The hotel was the dream of a cattle baron, Colonel Jesse Driscoll. He wanted to build the finest hotel south of St. Louis and poured his fortune into it. This incredible palace opened its doors in 1886. But the Colonel's dream didn't last long. The hotel was expensive to run, and after a bad winter wiped out his cattle herds, he lost ownership just a couple of years later. There's even a popular story that he lost the hotel in a high-stakes poker game, though that's more Wild West legend than verified fact. What is known is that his time with the hotel was short, and people say his spirit still hangs around, with some guests claiming to smell his cigar smoke in the lobby. But the most chilling stories are all about the fifth floor, and specifically room 525. This is where the lore gets intense. The legend says that two brides took their own lives in this very room, under eerily similar circumstances, but 20 years apart. Now, it's really important to be clear. These are stories that have been passed down for generations. There are no official historical records to confirm these events happened exactly this way, or even in this specific room. But room 525 is where all the energy and the legend has focused. The first story tells of a bride in the late 1800s whose fiancé called off the wedding. Heartbroken, she reportedly died by suicide inside the room. The second story is much more recent, supposedly happening in 1991. A young woman from Houston was jilted by her fiancé. As the story goes, she went on a massive shopping spree with his credit card before checking into room 525. She was later found in the bathtub, having taken her own life. Guests and staff have claimed to see her ghost, sometimes carrying shopping bags, other times a pistol. Because of all this dark lore, the legend says the hotel actually closed the room for a while, not reopening it until 1998. And since then, the paranormal claims have been constant. And it's not just the brides. There's another famous story about the ghost of a little girl. The legend says that in 1887, a 4-year-old girl named Samantha, the daughter of a senator, was chasing a ball down the grand staircase when she tragically tripped and fell to her death. While historians have never been able to find official records confirming her story, guests consistently report hearing a child's laughter or the sound of a ball bouncing down the stairs. So, we have the spirit of a heartbroken colonel, the legends of two tragic brides, and the ghost of a little girl, all supposedly inside these walls. And I'm about to sleep in the room at the center of it all. Walking into the Driscoll's lobby feels like stepping into another era. The marble floors, the huge columns, the stained glass, it's all dripping with history. But as I took that elevator ride to the 5th floor, that sense of excitement started turning into a serious feeling of dread. Here we are, room 525. It looks like any other hotel room door. But when you know the stories, it feels like something else entirely. The room isn't huge. It's nice, but it has that older vibe that definitely adds to the atmosphere. The air in here is just so still and heavy. It's a kind of silence that's hard to put into words. It almost feels like the room is watching you. All right, time to get the gear set up. I've brought the usual tools for the job. First up, the EMF meter, which measures electromagnetic fields. The idea is that a spirit might be able to affect these fields and make the meter spike. I'll do a quick sweep of the room to get a baseline reading. Next, I've got my digital audio recorder to try and capture EVPs, or electronic voice phenomena. Those are voices or sounds that you don't hear in the moment, but show up on the recording later. And finally, I'm setting up this infrared camera to run all night, pointed at the main area of the room and the door. If anything moves, I want to see it. Okay, doing a first sweep of the room now. The EMF is pretty quiet, just a little hum from the lights and outlets. Everything seems normal, for now. The sun's going down, and I swear the energy in here is shifting. It feels colder, and that feeling of being watched is definitely getting stronger. The investigation starts now. It's a little after 11 p.m. I've been sitting here in the dark for about an hour, just listening. Every little creak from an old building like this, every sound from the city outside, it just sets you on edge. I'm going to start an EVP session. I'll ask some questions and leave some silence for anything that might want to respond. A moment of silence. Is there anyone in here with me tonight? Silence. Is your name? I'm here to listen to your story. I don't mean you any harm. Silence. One of the women said to haunt this room. Can you tell me your name? Silence. If you're here, can you make a sound for me? Can you try to touch one of my cameras? Anything to let me know you're here. About half an hour since I started the EVP session. I haven't heard anything with my own ears, but the EMF meter has been acting weird. It's been holding steady around 0.5 milligauss, but it's spiked up to a 2 or 3 twice now, just for a second, before dropping right back down. There's nothing around it that would cause that. Both times, it happened right after I asked if one of the brides was here. Could be a coincidence, but it's unsettling. The feeling in this room is getting heavier. I don't think it's just my imagination anymore. It feels oppressive, almost sad. I can definitely see how someone could get overwhelmed in here. You can really feel the weight of the stories. Now, 3:07 a.m., the witching hour, as they say. For the last hour, everything has gone completely dead. No EMF spikes, no weird feelings, just this deep, heavy silence that's almost as creepy as the activity was. I'm just sitting on the edge of the bed, watching the live feed from the infrared camera. The room is pitch black, except for the glow of the city lights outside the window. I'm starting to think maybe this is a bust. Maybe the legends are just stories. Maybe I'm just sitting alone in a creaky old hotel room. A loud, clear series of 3 knocks, knock, 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 echoes through the room. The sound is sharp and deliberate. What was that? My reaction is one of genuine shock and fear. I jump up, staring at the door. Hello, is someone there? I move slowly to the door. My heart is pounding. I check the peephole. Nothing. The hallway is empty. I quietly unlock the door and crack it open. The hallway is completely empty, both ways. There is no one here, absolutely no one. My heart is racing. That was not a pipe. That was not the building settling. That was a knock. 3 knocks, right on my door. And my EMF meter is going nuts. It's jumping between a 5 and a 10. It was totally flat a minute ago. Okay, I'm not making this up. Something is in this room with me. That knock, that was for me. I am not alone in here. I am genuinely shaken right now. The whole energy in here has changed. It's thick and it feels active. People talk about other haunted rooms in this hotel, including one on the 4th floor where a woman's cries are heard. If you think I should come back and investigate the rest of this place, let's get this video to 50,000 likes. And please, hit subscribe because you won't want to miss what happens next. After that knock, there was no way I was sleeping. I left all the gear running and just sat on the bed, watching and listening. Every shadow looked like it was moving. Every little noise from the hall sounded like footsteps coming toward my door. That feeling of being watched was just overwhelming. The air felt electric, like it was charged with an energy that just wasn't there before. I didn't hear another knock, but around 4 a.m., the audio recorder caught what sounds like a faint whisper. I couldn't make it out at the time, but I'm hoping I can clean it up in post. The rest of the night was just a tense, sleepless waiting game for the sun to come up. It's morning, the sun is shining in, and the room just feels normal again. It's a hotel room. The heavy, oppressive feeling is gone. It's amazing how different a place can feel in the daylight. Happened last night. I came in here with a healthy dose of skepticism. I wanted to believe, but I was ready for it to be nothing more than old stories. But I can't explain what I experienced. Let's go over the evidence. The EMF spikes during the EVP session were strange, but you could probably find a way to explain them. But the main event of the night? That knock. I want you to hear the audio again from my main recorder. Audio of the 3 loud, clear knocks plays again. That sound, combined with the immediate EMF spike and the fact that there was nobody in that hallway, is some of the most compelling evidence I've ever personally captured. And then there's this, from just before dawn. I isolated that whisper I mentioned. Listen closely. Audio plays of a faint, distorted whisper. Listen to this 100 times. I can't say for sure what it's saying. To me, it sounds like leave, or maybe grieve. What do you hear? My final thoughts on room 525? It's haunted. I came here looking for answers, and while I didn't see a ghost bride carrying shopping bags, I experienced something that I honestly cannot explain. The feeling of sadness in that room is real. The energy is real. And that knock, that was real. I'm now convinced the legends of the Driscoll Hotel are more than just ghost stories. Something is definitely in room 525. But what do you all think? Was the knock paranormal, or is there some other explanation? And what do you think that whisper said? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more investigations into the unknown.